Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are taking a fascinating plunge right beneath the sprawling surface of the North American grasslands
Way beneath the surface.
to explore a species that's often overlooked, but, our sources are calling it the single most important species of that entire ecosystem,
And that's not an overstatement at all. They really are the civil engineers of the prairie.
the underground architects.
Exactly. They build the infrastructure that physically shapes the habitat for hundreds of other creatures. It's an animal whose impact is just wildly disproportionate to its size.
A classic keystone species.
That's a textbook example, really.
So that's our mission in this deep dive. We want to unpack the extraordinary life, the astonishingly complex language, and the critical role of the black-tailed prairie dog.
And just to set the stage, we're talking about a massive geographical range. This isn't just one small area.
Right.
It's from the prairies of southern Canada all the way down into the Chihuahuan Desert in northern Mexico.
Wow. And when a single species is that essential across such a huge biome, any change to their population is going to have, system-wide repercussions.
It's the backbone of the entire region.
Okay, so let's get into this underground empire. Their colonies are legendary for a reason. They're called dog towns.
Or Squeakopolis, which I think is a great name.
Yeah.
And you have to grasp the sheer scale of what they build.
We're not talking about a couple of holes in the ground.
Not at all. We are discussing vast, complex, historical societies. The largest dog town ever reliably documented was just astronomical. It spanned a staggering 64,000 square kilometers.
Hold on, say that again. 64,000.
64,000 square kilometers.
That's bigger than the island of Manhattan. That's a whole metropolitan area built under the soil. How's that even possible?
It just speaks to the absolute efficiency of their social structure. They're not just digging randomly. They're creating these massive interconnected cities.
With different rooms and levels.
Yes. Chambers for nesting, sleeping, escape routes. And this is exactly why they earned that title of keystone species.
So what is it about their architecture that's so special? Why is a prairie dog burrow more important than any other animal's burrow?
Because they're not just building homes for themselves. They're building homes for the entire prairie.
Everyone else.
For everyone else. Their deep, insulating tunnel networks provide ready-made shelter for at least 136 other species. Think about burrowing owls, swift foxes, shorthorn lizards.
They all just move in.
They completely rely on the infrastructure the prairie dogs build and maintain. The prairie dog literally constructs the foundational real estate for the whole ecosystem.
Okay, before we go deeper, we have to clear up the name. They make a barking sound, but they are absolutely not dogs.
No, definitely not. They're in the Sciuridae family, so their closest relatives are actually marmots, chipmunks, and, your average park squirrel.
So they're basically just squirrels that decided to live underground.
Primarily subterranean squirrel, yes.
I love that. And they have some amazing adaptations for that life, especially for surviving the heat. I read about something called splooting.
Splooting, it's a great term. To survive that intense prairie sun, a prairie dog will find a cool patch of ground.
Maybe over one of their tunnels.
Exactly, where the earth is cooler. And it will just spread its entire body out flat, like a little pancake.
To radiate heat away.
To radiate its core body heat into the cool earth. It's an essential survival trick in those soaring temperatures.
And you can see their adaptations even in their bones.
Sure.
The sources mention that their mandibles, their lower jaws, are incredibly deep.
Yeah, that indicates a really strong bite force, powerful muscles, and they need it. It's paired with those incredibly sharp incisors at the front.
Which never stop growing.
They grow continuously their entire lives because they are constantly being worn down, not just from eating tough grasses and roots, but also from maintenance.
Maintenance.
They are meticulous architects. They keep their territory tidy, clipping back all the surrounding vegetation.
To get a clear line of sight.
To maintain perfect vantage points for spotting danger from a long way off.
That makes perfect sense. And that vigilance leads us right into what might be their most astonishing feature, their communication.
Their language, yeah.
If the architecture is impressive, the language is just staggering. One source made this incredible claim that their vocabulary is more advanced than any other animal language scientists have been able to decode. How can that be true?
It's because it's not just a simple alarm call. It's a descriptive language, which is incredibly rare.
So it's not just danger.
Not at all. Researchers have found that the actual acoustics of the chirps and squeaks communicate specific contextual information about the threat.
Like what?
Like, they can alter the call to distinguish whether the predator is a coyote or a badger, or a hawk, or a human.
Mhm.
They even seem to have different words for the color of a human's shirt.
You're kidding me.
It's that nuanced. And the alarm spreads through the colony like a shockwave, with the message intact.
That detailed language must be key to their social system. You mentioned the colony can have millions, but it's organized into smaller units, right? Coteries?
Yes, the coteries are the core of their society. It's usually one breeding male, several related females, and their pups. And they are extremely protective of their family's borders.
And there's a difference between the sexes, right?
A big one. The females, sisters, mothers, daughters, they stay together in that coterie for their entire lives.
But the males move on.
The males are nomadic. Each year, they disperse to find new coteries to mate with. It's a brilliant strategy to prevent inbreeding and keep the gene pool diverse across the whole town.
Speaking of mating, here's a huge paradox. For an animal that can live in colonies of millions, reproduction is actually a very constrained event.
It's remarkably infrequent and difficult. They only mate once a year in early winter.
And the window for it is just unbelievable.
It's so tight. Females are only in estrus, only fertile for a single hour.
1 hour. Once a year.
That's it. 1 hour, once a year. The odds are just extraordinary. If they succeed, they'll have a litter of 3 to 8 pups.
But not all of them make it.
No, only about half of those pups will survive their first year. It's a tough life out there.
And that brings us to the perils of prairie life. They are basically the #1 menu item for everyone else.
Pretty much. Being a primary food source for over 100 other species means you are always under threat.
Which has led to some incredible behaviors, like that mutualistic hunting relationship between coyotes and badgers.
It's a true team-up. An unlikely partnership, but a highly efficient one.
So the coyote is fast on land, but too big for the tunnels.
Right. And the badger is a clumsy runner, but it's literally built for digging. Muscular shoulders, heavy claws.
A living excavator, so how does it work?
They hunt together. The coyote will chase a prairie dog on the surface. When it dives into a burrow,
Badger goes in after it.
the badger either charges into the tunnel system to flush it out another exit right to where the coyote's waiting, or it just digs the prey out directly. It's an incredibly deadly pincer movement.
And the prairie dogs have their own counter tactics, like that theory about the jump yip.
Yes, the jump yip. It looks like a general alarm howl, but the theory is that it's actually quite selfish.
Selfish how?
The idea is that a family unit sees a predator, lets out one loud, attention-grabbing jump yip to say, "Here we are," and then they immediately go silent and disappear.
Oh, I see.
The predator's attention is drawn to them, but as it gets closer, its focus shifts to other families nearby that are still yipping and moving around.
It's like shouting, "Hey," and then pointing at your neighbor.
A strategic deflection, yeah. It speaks to the intense pressure they're under. But tragically, none of these tactics have been enough to deal with the biggest threat.
The human impact. The numbers are just devastating. A drop of 95% since European arrival.
95%. It's an ecological catastrophe driven by 2 main forces.
What are they?
First, the bubonic plague. It was brought to North America by rats on ships in the 1800s.
And prairie dogs are susceptible.
Highly. The plague decimated their populations, and it still persists today. When it hits a colony, it can wipe it completely off the map.
And the second driver?
Habitat destruction for farmland and competition with cattle. Farmers have historically viewed them as pests that compete for grazing land and damage crops.
Which led to widespread eradication programs.
Exactly. Aggressive, large-scale efforts to wipe them out.
And this is where that keystone status becomes so tragic. Because when you remove the prairie dog, the whole system starts to collapse.
The chain reaction is profound.
Especially for the black-footed ferret.
The black-footed ferret. A magnificent animal that evolved to live in their burrows and to eat almost exclusively prairie dogs.
So when the prairie dogs go,
the ferrets lose their homes and their food source all at once. We've literally pulled the foundation out from under their world. They're now endangered, extirpated from most of their range.
even with conservation efforts.
Even with conservation efforts. In some places, the prairie dog populations just aren't dense enough anymore to support a reintroduction of the ferrets. It's a heartbreaking cascade.
It really is. Now, before we wrap up, I want to touch on a point of confusion. Even field biologists can sometimes misidentify them.
That's a critical point, yeah. The black-tailed prairie dog is very commonly confused with the Richardson's ground squirrel.
Sometimes called a prairie gopher.
Right. And mistaking one for the other can lead to really faulty population counts, or worse, targeting the wrong animal for removal.
So if you're out there on the grasslands, what are the key things to look for?
Two easy identifiers, size and tail. The ground squirrel is about half the size of a prairie dog.
Okay.
And the biggest giveaway is right in the name of our species today.
Yeah.
The black-tailed prairie dog. The ground squirrel lacks that characteristic black tip on its tail.
Got it. And their social lives are totally different, too.
Completely different. While prairie dog males manage these complex family units, ground squirrel males are highly solitary. They're known for engaging in, well, epic, non-social confrontations.
A great distinction. We've covered so much today. The sheer scale of their cities, their role as architects of that incredibly complex language, and the devastating impact of their decline.
And what's truly fascinating is that even with all this intensive study, we still haven't fully cracked the code. We know their communication is sophisticated, but the vast majority of their vocabulary remains completely undecoded.
So what does this all mean for us? I mean, if the prairie dog has a vocabulary more advanced than any other animal language we've decoded, what else is out there?
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other hidden, sophisticated communications are unfolding every single day, right in plain sight, just beyond our current understanding?
The next time you see a squirrel chattering in a park, it might not just be noise.
You could be listening to a complex conversation full of names, specific threats, and descriptive language that we just haven't learned to translate yet. A whole world talking right past us.
Fantastic food for thought. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of the black-tailed prairie dog. We'll catch you next time.